Hi, thank you for joining us for this episode of Nextbiteoflife.com podcast. My name is Kem and I'm your host. Today, as I've always promised you for the past few weeks, I have a guest on the show. I have Jenny from And Three to Go, and she's going to talk a little bit about herself. So let's hear from Jenny right now. Hey, Jenny. How you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me. Good. Let's see. My name is Jenny. I'm from America, and I currently live in Phuket, Thailand. And I've traveled around the world a couple times now, and I blog about it.
Wow, that's great. The blog that she's talking about is and3togo.com, so make sure you check it out. Jenny is a mom, she's a wife, she's a traveler, and how long have you been doing this travel?
We've been traveling consecutively for 3 years now. And before that, we lived in Taiwan for 2 years. So out of my whole life, 7 years.
Wow.
There was a break in between. Yeah.
Amazing. What was the final decision? Like, how come you decided to leave the U.S.?
Well, I got married to a guy that was leaving.
Oh. Well, that makes it easy, doesn't it?
He wanted to leave the States.
Oh, so it wasn't like it wasn't your dream. It was basically you married somebody who wanted to leave, and so you had to leave, or you were okay with leaving?
I had never been outside of America, and it just seemed like it was a cool thing to do. I didn't have anything really keeping me in the States. It's just that I never took the opportunity to travel. So when I started dating Chad, he was on his way to Taiwan to teach English. And so I said, okay, I'll come along. So we got married and we went.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And
it really instilled a love of travel to me. That's when I got the bug and I haven't wanted to stop since.
Yeah, it's easy to catch that bug, isn't it? Because once you start traveling, it gets into your system, and the next thing you know, you have to travel. How hard is it traveling with a baby?
Actually, she's a really good driver. So, for me personally, it's been excellent. And, when we first did, she was just barely 2 and 4.5. And she's great. She makes me slow down and pay attention to what's around us. We actually, go to parks and do outdoor things, which we didn't used to do. So it's to me, it's really, it's just something that's just another way.
I know most people think that, when you...
there's no difference whether you're at home.
No, I was just going to say, I know a lot of people think that once you have a baby, you shouldn't travel, or it's impossible to travel with a baby. But you're, a good example. You can do it if you really want to. You have to make some sacrifices and you have to make some adjustments, but it's definitely doable.
Exactly. That was one of the things that drove me crazy living back in California, was that I wanted to travel and everyone was telling me, you can't travel anymore, you have a kid.
It's like
that's
so?
silly.
Exactly.
I'm not going to change my life.
Yeah, the baby has to adjust to you. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And kids are flexible. They will follow you wherever you go.
Yep.
So it's really how you raise them. She's used to being on long flights. She's used to being in a different place all the time, and she enjoys it. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I see pictures of her on the website, and she looks pretty happy to me for a kid.
I feel like it's a real problem in America.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's very happy. Yeah. She actually has said that she wants to live in Phuket for the rest of her life.
Wow.
And we can go travel, and she'll visit us.
That's great. That's a ringing endorsement for Phuket. I've never been there. It's one of my destination trips now. From looking at your site and seeing how you like it, I'm like, maybe we should check this place out. It looks really fun. And if Z likes it, then hey. I'm sure we'll like it too.
Exactly. You really should.
One of these days.
It's amazing.
Well, great. That's good. That's really good to know. What's the cost of living like over there?
Well, yeah, I can hear you. it's more expensive than other parts of Thailand. It depends on how you want to live. We've decided we want to live the island life. So we have a villa with a pool and, 2 cars and all that kind of stuff. So we live a little bit higher than you might have to.
Yes.
But it's still much cheaper than living anywhere in the States. Round of houses, there's around, you can get something for about $200 US a month to, we pay $900 a month. And of course you can go higher if you want, a mansion or something like that. Food is cheap. Transportation is cheap.
Wow.
Yeah, although after reading your blog post about where you live, you actually are living cheaper than I am. So,
I know, amazing, because whenever you hear Thailand, you just think like everybody says, oh, you can live for $500 a month in Thailand. But that's really pushing it, because I think if you want to move out of the country, you want a better, or at least the same standard of life that you left. You don't want to go and live, someplace that costs, yeah. So it's nice that you have a villa, and still the cost of living is still way much cheaper than California, especially. I mean, where are you going to get a villa with a pool in California for $900? That's great. Yeah, definitely. I
don't think it exists.
No, I don't think so. Not even in I don't know, Cupertino, or every place is expensive in the U.S. So you run your own design business. And your husband, does he still teach English?
No, actually, he sells beer.
Oh, wow.
American craft beer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he distributes it. There's a company here in Thailand called Beervana, and he works for them and goes to restaurants and bars and hotel resorts and sells them awesome beer.
Oh, nice. And do you get to test it out for him or anything like that?
Oh, of course.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
I can't think of a better job than that.
I know. It's a great way to meet people too. And I've met restaurateurs, I've met hotel owners, I've met
You cut out there.
It's really cool.
That's great.
Cool. It gets us out there and social, so it's really nice.
Nice.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out for a second there, but I can hear you. And how about the food there? The food there, I know you. Yes.
Like price-wise or?
No, like taste-wise,
Oh my goodness! Oh, I could go on and on.
Wow.
I love Thai food, and I mean, the only time I cook is if we want something Western.
Yes.
Some Western fare, because that's expensive to go out and buy.
Of course.
At a restaurant. But for Thai food, you can go out and get amazing Thai food, and spend like $3 for a meal for 3 of us.
Wow.
So it's really good. It's it's spicy. There's a lot of rice with it, and
yes.
And curries. So I don't know. Do they have a Thai restaurant where you are?
No, I haven't found one anyway. We have a Chinese restaurant, and we were happy to find that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's funny. That's one of the things I miss living in Thailand is good Chinese food.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See, now you got to make a trip to China. Well, I think for me, the one thing I miss here is the hamburger. They have burgers here, but it's like, it seems to be mixed with beef and pork or something. It just doesn't look right. Mm-hmm. So that's the one thing I miss. But I can understand missing Chinese food, because you get used to it in America. You have it all the time. And then to like not have it, it's just, right. It's devastating.
It is. Especially when you're a food fanatic like I am.
Oh, yeah. I know you love your food.
Now, see, that is one thing in Phuket. There's awesome burgers. So see, I know. And so you'll have to come visit, because we have awesome burgers in Phuket, and we have Thai food. And I'm not going to comment on the Chinese because I haven't found any good ones. The food is awesome. And I mean, they have Sunday brunches where you can go and get a buffet of food, and a 5-star resort, and it costs, anywhere between $10 a person to, you can pay up to the $100 range if you want to.
Wow.
But the food is always great, and the ambiance is always great, and so we do that on occasion.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, now I can understand why there's so many expats in Thailand. I know Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai, is that close by you? Or?
There's so many expats.
Oh yeah, there too.
Chiang Mai is up north.
Ah, okay.
So Phuket is. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, but there are a lot of expats there too.
Yes, there's a lot of expats. I mean, in most of the major cities, Phuket has a lot, Chiang Mai has a ton, Bangkok, of course, has a ton. And then there's like a spattering, in the other areas, the less touristy areas. But Chiang Mai has a lot of them. And that's at the very north end of the country.
Okay.
And then Phuket is on the very south.
Okay.
Almost at the very bottom.
Ah, see, I get a history lesson too. I had no idea because I'd never really looked into it, but I really should. Well, that's great.
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, you go on. Breaking
up again. I was going to say, if you want the culture and the really good food of Thailand, go to Chiang Mai. But it's cold. Well, it's cold for me up there. And then if you want, beaches and, coconuts and stuff like that, then you go to the islands like Phuket. Yeah.
That's really interesting. I know, like, they filmed a lot of movies and stuff like that, and you see pictures of the beaches, and it just looks amazing. And, the more, like I said, the more I read your blog, m3togo.com, I keep thinking, oh, this is one place we have to add to the list because, like I told you, it wasn't even anywhere on the radar. I mean, I knew people always went there. There's a lot of expats. I just picture it's going to be just like Nigeria or something. But it's nice to know that there are really, really nice places that you could live in and that the cost of living is not as bad as you think. So, Jenny, I got to ask you something. I've always wanted to know, how many tattoos do you have?
I thought you were going to ask this, so I counted them. I have 11.
11. Wow.
But one of them is a culmination of, it's a half sleeve. So my whole lower arm is one.
Wow.
Actually 12, sorry. Yeah. So 12. I'm getting there. I'm trying to get more.
Wow. Does your husband have tattoos too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he does. I don't even know how many he has, but he has really big pieces. Mine are kind of just small pieces that are all over the place. But his whole shoulders and arms are done and everything. So
amazing. And it doesn't hurt?
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt when you do it?
It depends on where you get it, like what area of your body. For me, it feels kind of like a cat scratch. It doesn't bother me that much, which is a good thing since I love him so much.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like waxing, So if you wax your arm, it's not so bad, and then you get a bikini wax and you're dying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would actually compare it more to. Have you ever had the threading done?
No.
Oh, okay. It feels more like that. A little bit more painful than waxing, but not too bad.
Oh, that's good.
So, for me, I know some people scream and cry, but for me, it's not that big of a deal.
I probably would be okay with the pain. I think I have a high threshold for pain, so I think I probably could handle it for just a little bit. So let's talk about the future plans.
Just start with a small one.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do it. I'm just too chicken for that, But I've admired yours, and I'm like, I'm curious to know how many tattoos she actually has totally. That's great, because the only reason why I knew that was that I think I was reading a blog, and I mentioned because there was a fashion show or something, and one of the models in the show had like head to toe tattoos, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a little too much. And then you came in and said, well, that's not too bad. And I thought, oh, she must have tattoos. And I gotta ask. Well, that's really cool to know. Hey, it looks good. It's colorful. It's tasteful. It's nice.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what advice would you give to somebody who wanted to move from the U.S. and thinks about Thailand, what things would you say, keep in mind? What advice would you have for somebody like that?
So, if you want to move to Thailand from America, make sure that you check with the Thai embassy and see what kind of visa you can get. The longest one you can get, it's 1 year, and that's called a non-O or a non-B. And those are the ones you want to have if you want to be here long term. If you have a certain thought of a job that you want to do in Thailand, also research that, because there's a lot of jobs that we aren't allowed to do. So you need to research, make sure that whatever you're doing, you can work here if you want to live here, unless you're independently wealthy. And I don't know, just prepare your mind, for being in a different country, and be patient with the people around you. It's really not that hard to move here at all. It's pretty simple to come over and just settle. You probably need between $2,000 and $5,000 to live in Thailand. Saved up probably just to get your house and a vehicle, whether you have a scooter or a car. But really all it takes is gumption and a little bit of research and, a desire to do it. And if you have the desire, then you can make anything happen. So that's the only advice I would give, I guess.
I really like the way you said gumption, because people always talk about things. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. But they don't actually make the effort to actually go out and do whatever it is that they say they want to do. They put up all those blocks in front of them. Oh, I can't do it because of this. This doesn't do. I can't leave my mom. I can't leave this. I can't leave that, And there's always excuses. But if you really want to do it, you can do it for the most part. But I like the advice of the... Yeah?
Exactly. No, I totally agree with you. And it's completely, it's your mindset. If you think it's going to be difficult, you could be moving to Thailand, or you could be moving to the town next to you. It's not going to work out. So if you have the fortitude of, moving to a new place, and the desire to do it, it'll be fine. For the most part.
Yeah, I know, really. There's always that element of surprise. And you have to be ready for the culture shock, right?
There is.
Because I'm sure, there were things that you had to adjust to. So what was like the biggest culture shock that you encountered?
What's funny is I had horrible culture shock when we lived in Taiwan. And that lasted for about 6 months, and it was just so difficult for me because that was the first country I had been to outside of America.
Yes.
And since then, no matter where we've gone, I haven't really had any culture shock for the most part. There are little things that annoy me, but it's never been to the point where I was, it really affected me very much. Here in Thailand, I think the biggest culture shock for me is actually the other expats. It's interesting and weird sometimes, and fun to meet expats from all over the world, but it's also can be really difficult to understand them sometimes.
Yes, because they sort of act like they're still back home.
Right. And it could be hard to make friends sometimes, depending on where you are. So it's kind of learning. It's the whole learning to hang out with someone that you wouldn't normally hang out with just because you're both there.
Exactly.
That's the most culture shock I've had. Is kind of like, these people are great, but
I'm so glad you said that. I am so glad you said that, because we find that the same here. So I think it's all over the world. Even in Malta, I said the same thing. It's like people that, okay, so we're both here, but you know what? If we were not here, I wouldn't like you as a person. And we find ourselves almost insulated. And that's fine with me, because the older I get, the more I realize I really don't like to put up with any crap from anybody. So I'm like, I'd rather be by myself than have to put up with this idiot, at least in my own standard of life. Yeah. There are things that I hold, you have to be honest, you have to be nice, you have to be thoughtful, and you have to put thoughts into being a friend. And if you're not doing all of that stuff, then I don't want to be around you. So I find that we don't make friends, or we make acquaintances, and that's pretty much it. But I can't say, oh, this is a friend, And that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Especially the older you get.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, Jenny, I am so glad that you joined me for this. You're the very first guest, right? Because usually I've been doing this by myself, and you're the very first guest that we've had. So I'm glad that you were the cherry.
Thank you so much. And it's been so fun. You are also my first interviewer, so it's a little bit nervous, but you helped me through it. Thanks.
Great. Well, I hope everything goes smoothly. People, if you're listening to this, you have to check out Jenny's blog. It's called am3togo.com, and it's all about her adventures in Thailand with her husband and her adorable baby Z. You've got to see, she's got this sunny smile all the time. So please check out the website. I'm going to put up pictures of Jenny too on our website, which is nextbiteoflife.com. So make sure you check it out. Jenny, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I hope that we get to do this at some point further on down the line. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Thank you.